You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible.
All right, folks, welcome back to Roland Martin Unfiltered. Raphael Warnock is the pastor of Ebenezer Baptist Church. He is running for the United States Senate in the same race featuring Senator Kelly Loeffler and Republican Congressman Doug Collins. I had a chance to talk with him out here at the Joe Biden rally that took place earlier today here in Atlanta. Raphael Warnock, you are the latest poll show. You have both to pass Senator Kelly Loeffler as well as Congressman Collins. This race, you got to get 50 plus 1% to win it outright. And so it looks like it will go to a runoff. How are you making the case in these final 7 days? And do you see Democrats finally coalescing around you with so many other candidates in this race?
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here with you again. There is no question that my race is gaining momentum, a lot of steam. I don't want to be on the roller coaster, but all of the numbers are clearly moving in the right direction. I think that in the early months of this campaign, as a first-time candidate, I was putting together a coalition and strengthening our resources. Once we started communicating and people started hearing my message and my biography, a kid who grew up in public housing, first college graduate in my very large family, and my message around health care, the dignity of work, voting rights, the work I've been doing, the folks have responded. And I think we are seeing the consolidation that we need.
We, of course, have seen, earlier I talked with John Ossoff, we're seeing what has happened in this state, how much has changed. And the reality is Democrats have finally decided to compete. And look, folks have said for a long time, you can't win if you don't compete. You can't compete if you don't put the resources into a state. And also look at the people who are disaffected, disenfranchised, who are not registered, and you got to work that. That's really what has happened in the last 6 years, 10 years in this state.
There's no question. We saw the potential here a few years ago, and so we've been investing in our own situation here on the ground. When Stacey Abrams started the New Georgia Project a few years ago, I was the spokesperson and then chair of the board. We've registered 400,000 new voters in this state, just that one organization. My church regularly registers voters, other churches do. Voters don't vote for politicians, they vote for themselves. And if they can hear themselves in the narrative and in the agenda, then they show up. We've been intentional about that, and we've seen the results.
You said we did it ourselves. And the reality is a lot of national Democrats have completely written off the South. We see it right now. Mike Espy is still trying to get support in Mississippi. Adrian Perkins in Louisiana as well. But they are showing when you actually put yourself out there, when you communicate to the voters, you can give yourself a chance. Do you believe that national Democrats now will get the message after 2020 to realize, wait a minute, we can actually compete and win? You see what's happening here, North Carolina, Jamie Harrison in South Carolina, what's happening again, Espy, Mississippi, Perkins in Louisiana. I mean, that is a perfect example of coalition building, but also boots on the ground, knocking on doors, getting people registered to vote, not trying to flip somebody who voted for you last time.
Yeah, as goes the South, so goes the rest of the nation. We've seen that throughout the history of our country, if you think about it, whether you're talking about the Civil War or the Civil Rights Movement, and now this new defining moment in America where we're pushing against the new Jim Crow, mass incarceration, pushing against police brutality, talking about the ways in which civil rights and human rights must be the lens through which we engage all of these issues. We're seeing the results of that. Stacey Abrams came within 55,000 votes of winning in 2018. And that while running against a man who was both the player on the field with her and the umpire calling balls and strikes, he still barely squeaked by. Since then, we've registered 800,000 new voters in the state. 49% of them are people of color. 45% of them are under 30. We have the coalition. It is multiracial, it is multi-generational, and I believe that coalition is standing up as we speak.
What do you say to the person, look into that camera right there, what do you say to the person who says, you know what, I'm sorry, I haven't seen change in my community. I haven't seen anything take place. I think voting is a waste of time. I'd rather just go protest. What do you say to that particular person?
I would say to that person that America is a complicated story of people building a more perfect union. And if you don't think there's been any change, you should sit down with Andrew Young. You should sit down from some of the folks in that generation who know the distance we've come. And as we continue to push hard, change comes. The other side knows your power. The other side knows your voice. That's why they're engaged in voter suppression. If you weren't so powerful, they wouldn't be trying so hard to stop you from voting. And so you ought to stand up in this defining moment in American history and win the future for all of our children.
All right. Pastor Warnock, we appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Good to be with you.
All right, good.
My frat brother.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Take care.
06, baby.
All right.
All right, folks, back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, the folks at Ceek.com, black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. They, of course, a virtual reality company. You can check out their content at Ceek.com, CEEK.com. You can do so, of course, with these VR headsets. You can look at it, of course, on your regular device or your pad or your computer. But if you want to experience being in the room, you can use this headset right here. All you simply do is just pop in your cell phone in here, pop it on, and then put this headset on, and you can literally experience their content in virtual reality. And so allows for you to do a 360-degree view of the room. But also, folks, they have the 360-degree 4D headphones right here. These are Bluetooth headphones. They have complete surround sound in terms of as you hear the particular music. Gamers love them as well when they're playing their games. And so it's just phenomenal bass in these headphones as well. You can get one or both devices at Ceek.com using this promo code RMVIP 2020, RMVIP 2020. So we certainly thank the folks at Ceek.com for being a partner with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. All right.